All right, thank you guys for waiting. I'm sorry the room wasn't ready for us, but seems like everything is ready now. I'm Monte Cook, and this is Instant Adventures. So we're gonna run a game here, and we're gonna do things maybe a little differently than most of the time when people run games. We are going to be making it all up as we go along, because at this point in time, I'm going to be running the game, but I don't know what the genre is. I don't know what the plot's going to be. I don't know who the characters are going to be. I don't know anything. I'm totally unprepared. So just by a show of hands, who here has run a role-playing game? Who's been a game master? Great. Okay, now, keep your hands up if you've run a game with absolutely no prep. You just sat down right there in the game seat. Awesome, great. Okay, now keep your hand up if you've run a game with absolutely no prep and run that game in front of a couple hundred people. All right, that's what we're going to be doing today. So, you guys are going to be helping me out. You guys are going to be providing for us the genre, all the information that we need, right? Because we don't know anything. I am woefully unprepared for this game today. So, just going to get things started. I'm going to get some suggestions from you. At first here, I want you to just go ahead and just shout out answers for questions that I'm going to give you. Before we do that, though, I do have three caveats. The first one should be relatively easy. I think you guys can handle it. We need to keep this mostly family friendly. So, the suggestions are going to go up. The second caveat might be a little bit more difficult, and that is as fun as it would be to make these players come up and play, single cell bacteria. That's going to be a joke that'll be funny for about 10 minutes and lame for the rest of the time. So let's keep things in this sort of general idea of, the kinds of genres and stories and stuff that we keep in role-playing games. Although, don't be afraid, this is going to get a little silly. The third one is really simple, and that is last year when we did this, the genre was superheroes. I don't know if you guys were here or if you've seen it on YouTube, but they were all superhero sidekicks, and there was Ralph the Psychic Dog, and it got very silly. Thank you. Let's not do superheroes this time. That's the caveat that I have. I want to do something completely different. Make sure that we keep things fresh and new and weird. So, what genre of game are we going to run today? Just go ahead. Noir. All right. I like noir. Right? Okay. So we're going to do some grim and gritty kind of detective-y sort of stuff. Who are the player characters going to be in this? They all work together doing what?
Criminals. The mob. Wizards.
The mob. Okay. All right. So the player characters are all going to be mobsters.
Wizard mobsters.
Wizard mobsters. All right. So they're all wizards, and they're part of the mob. Now, so they need somebody to interact with who isn't like we're not talking about the villains, we're not talking about the opposition now, but someone that they work with, they interact with, and who's on their side. Somebody over
the restaurant.
Mob boss.
Chef.
Dirty cop.
Oh, I like dirty cop. Dirty cop. All right. You, sir. Do you have any siblings?
Yes.
Sister?
Yes.
What's your sister's first name?
Jeanette.
Jeanette. All right, Jeanette the dirty cop. All right. Okay, so over here, like somebody just way over here in these two rows, suggests what's just happened to our wizard mobsters? What's the most recent thing that's happened in their lives? Anything, just something significant that could have happened.
The day of their daughter's wedding.
All right, excellent. That's all the information that I am going to give to them. All right, that's all they know. The rest of this is just for us. So somebody here in the second row. We're going to need a bad guy. We're going to need a villain. So who's this guy going to be?
The priest.
A priest. All right. And somebody way in the back. How about you in the hat? Way in the back row. Do you have any siblings?
Yes.
All right. You have a brother?
I'm the older brother.
All right. What's your older brother's first name?
James.
James. Father James. Is the villain of this. Okay, so anybody go ahead and let me know where is this all happening? What's the location? I don't necessarily
High
mean
school.
the city. I mean like where we're gonna most of this is gonna happen where?
High school.
High school.
Good year. Shopping mall.
Shopping mall.
All right, and one more thing. Let's take it from right in the middle here. What's the thing that's going to happen at the shopping mall to make things even more complicated?
It's maybe. Black Friday apocalypse.
All right, that works. The apocalypse. All right, so to just go over this all again for you guys so you remember everything, we've got Noir. I think Noir's probably going to get a little lost in all of this. We'll do our best, right? The characters are all wizard mobsters. They have a friend who's a dirty cop named Jeanette. And they've just come from one of their daughter's wedding, and not one of their daughters who just had a wedding, not one of their daughter's weddings. The bad guy is going to be Father James. It's all going to take place, or most is going to take place at a shopping mall, and at some point during this adventure, the apocalypse is going to occur. All right, so I have a few more things that I've got to work out with you guys. If you were here last year, and or if you watched it, you know that one of my players is a guy named Bruce Cordell. Last year he started out the whole thing with the first roll, and it was a 1, which is extremely appropriate for Bruce. So here's what's going to happen. I am going to ask. At some point, I'm going to ask Bruce to make a roll. And the very first time, I'm going to say, okay, Bruce, give me a roll. All of you are going to just shout out, Bruce rolls a 1. And Bruce isn't going to really do that. That's just the first time, all right? The next thing is, okay, so whenever Jeanette, the dirty cop, comes up whenever she does something, takes an action, I want everyone, because she's, of questionable morals, right? She's a dirty cop, she's on the take. I want you all to go, very suspiciously every time she does something, right? And, okay, there's one other thing. Oh, and when Father James comes up, whenever he does something, I want you all to go, wah, ah, ah. Okay, so we've got Bruce rolls a 1, and wah, ah, ah. There's one last thing, and that is, so we're going to be using the Cypher System, which, if you're not familiar with it, doesn't matter. Rules are not going to matter very much today. However, there's one thing that you need to know, and that is, in the Cypher System, the GM doesn't roll dice. Instead, whenever the GM wants to have something happen, it doesn't happen randomly, it happens when it would be best for the story. And this moment is called a GM intrusion. So in the Cypher System, when the GM does a GM intrusion, he awards some XP. And I've got these cards that have 1 XP on them, and I'll be giving them to the players. They'll be able to use that during the game, maybe. But whenever I do that, right, that's going to mean something, something's going to happen, something complicated is going to complicate things. So whenever I hold up 2 cards, you guys are going to go, dun, dun, dun. Right? So I know that's a lot to remember, so let's go over it again, right? When I say Bruce, roll. Bruce rolls a 1. All right, excellent. When Jeanette does something. All right. When Father James shows up or does anything. All right, and then when I do a GM intrusion. Excellent. That is awesome. That is awesome. Hopefully this last one's not going to come into play, but just in case, if I point to all of you guys, I want you to say, it's not the GM's fault. All right. Now, I'm going to go out, give those guys just the first answers to the first 4 questions that I asked you. We're only going to be out there maybe like 2 or 3 minutes. But in the meantime, Monte Cook COO Charles Ryan's going to come up and tell you about something. He can do a little dance or something.
That's all I needed.
And we're done. So actually, yeah. I'm guessing most of you guys have played Cypher System, Numenera, Strange, Cypher System, Rule 1. Yep. Well, that's cool. As Monty said, the rules are probably not going to add that much. You're not going to know too much about that. But last year when we did this seminar, I don't know, how many of you guys came last year? Oh, so it's new for most of you. This is awesome. It was really, really fun last year. So I think it's going to be, it sounds like from the setup, it's going to be really fun this time as well. And Monty's not wrong about Bruce. Bruce is notorious for his ones. It is, I mean, it's kind of hard to believe, right? We'll play a game, where you roll the dice, I don't know, 20 times over the game session, and you can count on Bruce for that. 7 or 8 of those would be ones. So when last time when he started with a 1 on his very first roll, it was brilliant. So we call this thing Instant Adventures with Monte Cook because last year we had come out just a few months before with a book called Weird Discoveries for Numenera, which is filled with 10 instant adventures. And we've also got one called Strange as well, now called Strange Discoveries. And the way that Monty is going to build an adventure is very much how we structured these adventures in the books and what makes them kind of interesting. He's going to think about 3 or 4 things that have to happen for the adventure to reach a conclusion, right? And then he's going to think about, I don't know, this is all in Monty's head, I'm just pulling it out telepathically, but he's going to think about a handful of encounters that would be cool. And then that will let him sort of mix and match on the fly, depending on how the players go through the encounters or which encounters come up, which of these key elements appear in that encounter. So when, if he decides, all right, well, our first scene is going to be in the shopping mall, in the concourse or whatever, outside the place where they do put punch in your earrings, he's decided that encounter is going to be there and this kind of cool thing is going to happen. He's going to decide, well, depending on how that plays out, they could learn or get this or this of the 4 things that they need to complete the adventure and so on. And in our instant adventure books, they're structured that way as well. Each adventure is 6 pages long. In the middle part is a 2-page spread, which is the only part you need to keep open when you're running the adventure. And then it has all the encounters, and then each one shows which keys that are the key elements that have to happen for the adventure to reach its conclusion. And the GM can sort of ad lib their way through it successfully. And what makes it really, really cool is very much like what Monty is doing now. you can run that adventure with as long as it takes you to read the 2-page spread that's in front of that other 2-page spread. So in about 10 minutes, or about the time it takes to set up a board game, you can prep your entire adventure. And so here they come, solemnly making their way towards it. But so you may not have quite as much audience participation in your home games, but the idea of being able to run an adventure on the fly is something that we offer through some of our free games. Anyway, I will get on the stage now, unless you want more.
All right. So this is my game group right here, who's going to be playing with us today. I'm going to go ahead and give everybody a quick introduction, and when I introduce you, you can tell them the character that you're playing in today's game that you have laboriously created to fit exactly the setting and scenario that I have created. All right, so first we have my long-term friend and co-designer at Monte Cook Games, Bruce Cordell.
Hey guys, so today I'll be playing Phil, a learned snitch who crafts golems. I'm kind of a mob boss wizard. I guess we all are, aren't we?
Thank you for that, by the way.
Next we have Shanna Germain. Shanna is a writer and a game designer. She is also one of the co-owners of Monte Cook Games. Shanna, who are you?
I'm playing Helen, an impulsive dame who moves like the Windy City.
Whatever that means.
All right, new to Instant Adventures this year is Sean Reynolds. Sean's also been a friend of mine for a long time. We worked together at TSR at Wizards. But now Sean works with me at Monte Cook Games. He is our community coordinator, right?
Community relations coordinator.
Relations coordinator. All right.
He's the talker.
Yeah, and I'm playing Tommy McLommel, a wise guy, kind wise guy who entertains.
If you can hit 90% of the time, you're doing better than I am.
All right, and way down at the other end there, we have my friend, actor, game master extraordinaire, dungeon bastard, Tom Lommel.
Hey everybody, I'm playing Rock Granite Hands. I'm a naive muscle guy who never says die!
Right. So you guys are wizard mobsters. You work for the mob, but you also cast spells. You are sort of the elite group of mobsters in that you know magic, which comes into play more often than you would think in the mob, I guess. And you have made names for yourselves, work together as a little cabal in the mob. Bruce, your character's name is Phil.
That's right.
And Phil, Phil has a daughter, and she has just gotten married. And you guys have all just attended the wedding, obviously filled with various mobsters and whatnot in the congregation. Criminals of all type from all over Chicago, where we're going to set this. And you've just come from the wedding, but you've decided that you need pick up a few things. The Gap's having a sale. And so you decided, right after the wedding, still in your nice fine ring, you decided to go to the mall.
As is tradition.
All right, so first of all, actually, a piece of information that we need to know is probably one of the most important things. Phil, what do you think of this guy that your daughter just married?
She ain't good enough for my daughter, Elise.
All right, I figured. Right, okay. So, the four of you are at the mall.
Why are we here again? Just for picking up presents for my daughter Elise, right? Is that it? Or all right.
All of you forgot to bring gifts to the wedding.
That's right. I didn't realize. I thought I was invited just to show up, and then all these other guys there's stuff. We gotta get stuff, guys.
All right, so you come to the mall. And so there you are, outside of the Gap.
There's a pun in here somewhere.
And you're trying to figure out maybe what you should get for Elise, right?
She loves the Gap.
What about one of them cardigans? All the chicks I know love cardigans for some reason.
You don't know very many chicks, so you know.
You know, you shouldn't call them chicks. They like to be called dames now. Or broads.
The dames and broads that I hang out with, they like to be called chicks.
And Phil, as you're standing there, all talking about what you should maybe get as a gift, you notice someone across the way over at American Eagle who seems to be paying a little bit too much attention to the four of you as you're talking. It's a guy, he seems to be, sort of looking through the menswear, but he keeps giving furtive glances over toward you guys.
Hey, Rock, go take a look at that guy over there.
Hey, buddy, what the hell's your problem? Oh, what, the Gap's too good for you? You gotta shop at American Eagle? Oh, you can't buy a dame man's clothes? What are you thinking? It's a wedding day, for crying out loud.
As soon as that happens, the guy drops the 3 shirts he had and just starts shuffling off quickly, furtively away.
Oh, Phil, I guess it was no big deal. He's got something else, someplace else to be.
Well, I'll just send my my little golem, which looks like a little version of a hitman, I guess.
Wait a minute.
He's dressing.
Hang on. Does it look like a little version of Rock?
Yeah.
That's what I really want to happen.
But
it's the Rock that's smarter than Rock.
I've dressed it up for the wedding as well, so it's wearing a little tuxedo. I'll send it off
So
after.
you guys all have your nicest 3-piece striped suits with the fedoras. All right. And so you send your golem companion off to do what?
Follow him and see what he's up to.
Okay. You're trying to make just follow him off or be sneaky, or how do you want to, do you care if this guy?
Yeah, I'll be sneaky as much as possible.
Okay, so we're gonna have to see if this guy notices, so you're gonna need to make a stealth roll for the golem. So Bruce, give me a roll. Bruce rolls 1! Man, Bruce, you rolled a 1 again?
It's just like home.
I'm feeling a little persecuted here.
I am so glad I am not at that end of it.
All right, so
A 1.
So your little golem hitman with his little plastic Tommy gun goes running down the mall, the big hallway. What do you call the middle of the mall?
Aisle.
Concourse. Thank you. Runs down the middle of the concourse, trying to kind of duck behind the fake ferns and the things in the middle, but doing a terrible job running after him. This guy takes a look, sees that, and just starts running as fast as he can. Just doesn't care who sees him, bolts off. Do you guys want to take any action? You're going to let him go.
That guy can move. Maybe he's got to hit the head.
He's not getting away from Mini Rock. Get him, Rock Jr.! Can I somehow inspire Rock Jr. to go even faster?
Sure.
You know what? I got a better idea. Hit him with the Tommy gun, Little Rock! So I want to try and inspire Phil's golem to knock the guy down with his little mini sten.
Okay, so do you have like a spell you can cast to do that? Because you are a wizard.
Yeah. So I do have a special ability of piercing, and I can spend a speed point and inflict +1 damage with a ranged attack. Can my ranged attacks go through? I don't want to like step on Phil's golem thing too much. So like if I just want to like encourage him,
Okay.
That's fine too.
All right. So, being a wizard, you know it's magic. You can encourage him using your magic spell and Little Rock. Is that Little Rock?
Look, you're named he's little.
I get it. No,
I'm Rock. We looked.
Thank you.
He's a small version of me.
Oh, now I get it. Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right. So Little Rock runs even faster after this guy, as long as Phil doesn't command him to do otherwise.
I'm happy to see where this goes.
All right. They run off down the concourse and turn at the frozen yogurt place and disappear from sight. What are you gonna do? You are Helen. What's Helen gonna do?
I'm fast, but I'm also not really sure that I care about Elise or the gifts or this dude that's running through the gifts and women. But I don't have a lot of patience. So, what are we doing? Are we buying gifts, or are we going after this little thing, going after this big thing? Someone tell me what.
I think
what our
Rock's
plan
got
is.
it covered, so we should work on the gifts. The boss is here.
Well, let's get this and get out, because really, we're in a mall.
I was gonna just stay here until I heard the gunshots.
It's a Toys R Us gun. There are not going to be any gunshots.
But they sound so real.
You're so pretty.
Thanks.
All right. So this guy and the golem have disappeared around the frozen yogurt place. You guys are turning your attention back toward the gap.
Finally the gap.
And Tommy. Dun, dun, dun. That is when you notice that there's yet another strange sort of furtive figure. This guy is in the gap, and he's kind of taking looks over at you, specifically you. And not only that, but with your sort of keen mob experience and maybe your wizard senses, you notice that this guy's packing heat. He's got a gun underneath his jacket, and he's looking at you.
So I'm going to spend a round. So I'm going to spend a round using my happy face spell, and I'll spend 2 intellect to study this guy, so I get an asset next round to interact with them.
Okay. All right. So you're studying him. You're casting your subtle magic.
I kind of bummed, like, hey, Rock,
Huh?
what do you think about that guy?
What a dick.
All right. And meanwhile, Phil, you see someone else in the mall that you recognize this time. It's your police officer friend, Jeanette. And she's out in the mall concourse, sitting by the all those chairs that they put out for husbands while their wives shop. And she's looking over at you, and she's subtly motioning for you to come over toward her.
You guys got a thing going on? I thought you were going to tell me.
She's on the take. It's all right. All right. So I will. Obviously, Helen already noticed, so I'll just walk on over subtly and cool, like 'cause I'm a cool mobster. And sit down. What's up, Jeanette?
She says, Phil, I don't want to alarm you guys, but there's something weird going on here at the mall today.
All right, what gives?
Well, word on the street is that someone's put out a hit on all 4 of you, and they're kind of closing in on you around here at the mall.
All right, I call my robot back.
Okay. All right.
Robot being the golem.
Little Rock comes running back around the corner.
Oh, buddy, it's so good to see you.
And I'll say, thanks, Jeanette. I'll get up and I'll walk casually back over to everyone here and I'll say, there's a hit out on us. What?
Oh, crap.
There's always a hit out on us.
All right, you've got this guy studied now with your spell. Do you want to take any action?
Yeah, I want to walk up to them.
Okay.
And, hey, so what are they buying?
Entirely inappropriately, he is looking through the women's swimsuits.
I say, hey, I think you should check out those cargo pants over there. Those would be great on you. Not these ladies' clothes.
All right.
Dame's clothes.
And are you actually trying to influence him?
Yes, I am using my persuasion ability
Okay.
to schmooze him a bit.
All right.
And distract him.
Go ahead and roll for that.
There's a 17.
Roll a 17. You used your spell already. He kind of, because there's magic at work here, he kind of gets this funny look on his face, and he looks over at the cargo pants and he says, "Those are sharp." Thanks for the tip. My wife doesn't really like it when I wear cargo pants, but I like them. They're practical and stylish.
And it feels like you could go camping at any time.
Thanks for the tip, buddy. And he goes walking off to the cargo pants.
Hey, Tommy, this guy's onto something. I follow him.
All right. You guys are checking on the cargo pants. They even have those kind, that the legs zip off so they become shorts. So, score, bonus. You got things going on.
You just 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna need a cart. 5, 6.
All right, Helen, what are you doing?
Well, I'm gonna talk to Phil and find out. Do you mean like a new hit?
No,
Is this a new thing?
This is new, yeah. Jeanette came here specifically to warn me and I point her.
Who did? Who gave you that?
I'm like,
Jeanette? I love it.
I was just letting them catch up to their cues.
and apparently us as well.
All right, I look over at this person. Is she still there?
Yeah. She's still hanging out in the middle of the concourse. Thank you. And she's kind of looking around, and she seems like she's concerned. She's very concerned.
We're so trainable. What else did she say?
That's it. Should we go talk to her again?
I don't know. I don't really like her.
Yeah.
You should go talk to
All
her.
right. I head back over to talk to Jeanette.
All right, she's there. She's and are you going to?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is your character focus doesn't do anything? Is that what?
Hates everything. No, I'm
Hates
kidding.
everything. Got it. All right. Okay, so you go back over to Jeanette.
I sit down and I
Right.
say, can you give me a little bit more info on what this hit involves?
Well,
And I have my little golem, Little Rock, come and sit next to me.
she says the thing is, there's so many people involved in this that there must be somebody really influential here behind it all. I'm thinking this comes from high up. I'm thinking that maybe it's the infamous Father James. And you guys know that Father James is here in town, but he's got all kinds of shady connections.
That no good Father James.
And, because you move both in mob and wizarding circles. You also know that, Father James might be, involved in some kind of dark occult sorts of things as well. Kind of like you guys.
I've been to confession with Father James every Wednesday. For the past 7 years, he's never said anything unusual to me.
Do we know where this Father James's church is?
Bruce, you're gonna fall for it every time.
Absolutely. It's the biggest church in town, in Chicago, whatever that is. I've done a lot of preparation for this, so I did all my research about Chicago and churches in Chicago. So
St. Bartholomew's. I go there for confession every week.
I go for the drinks.
all right.
No, Tommy, that's not wine. It's blood.
Even better.
I say we head to Bartholomew's and see what Father James has gotten up to.
Well, Rock's got to buy his cargo pants first.
After the cargo pants.
Look at this. The legs zip off.
Holy shit.
They could be pants. They could be shorts. They're shants.
Or ports.
Yes, they are.
Chance is better.
All right.
I bet
so
Elise
as
knows.
Rock is paying for his money with his big roll of 20s, probably.
I don't need change.
Oh, thank you, sir. Come again.
I'll be back. It's better than that American Eagle place.
Absolutely.
It's run by the Irish.
Where's the dude that we were keeping an eye on? Where's
Hey.
the dude that is also buying cargo shorts?
He's behind Rock in line. He's got a bunch of cargo pants too. They're looking great to him.
I look over my shoulder. I'm like, oh, granite slate. I missed those.
They'll have him at another Gap. It's okay.
There's another Gap.
The other end of the mall.
I never made it that far. I always stop at this one.
It's next to the other Starbucks.
There's another Starbucks?
We're gonna go out the other way.
It's at that point that Mr. Cargo Pants, not you, the other Mr. Cargo Pants, the sort of blank, happy Gap expression that he had on his face suddenly fades, and he seems to kind of come around, throws the cargo pants on the floor as though he has no idea why he's been holding them, looks and sees who he's with, and immediately goes for his gun and points it at you. And he says, "Here's a little gift from Father James." All right, what do you do?
I move like the Windy City. So I can move a short distance and take an action.
Okay.
So how far away from me is he?
You guys are all right there in the middle of the gaps. You're all really close, right next to each other.
So I'm gonna move a short distance, and I have this very long scarf that has metallic ends, and I'm gonna whip it at him and try to whip that pistol right out of his hand.
Okay, all right. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
I'm gonna use a level of effort for this.
All right, good.
And I roll an 18.
Whoa.
All right.
Bam!
You whip your scarf, and that sounds like a light weapon to me.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So you definitely hit. 18 actually means +2 damage. So that means you do a total of 4 points of damage to this guy. Your metal end of your scarf cuts across his nice suit that he's got on and draws blood, and he cries out, "Ah!" And then after that, though, because he's still standing, he fills you full of lead. Or tries to.
That's
So
what
you're
he
gonna need to
thinks.
make a speed defense roll as he's shooting his gun right there in the middle of the gap.
All right, I'm trained in speed defense, and
Okay.
I'm also going to use level of effort because I
Okay,
do not
great.
like to be filled with lead. And I roll a 7.
All right. Well, since you used effort and you're trained, 7 is enough. You duck out of the way, and his
Please.
bullets go flying off into
Mannequin?
some.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no! Right into Rock's cargo pants.
There's another gap.
I have to share one of these, huh?
You know, you could just look at it as, nice ventilation. Those hot summer days.
I'm gonna give this to Phil because Little Rock is about to open some stuff up.
All right. Well, Phil, what are you gonna do?
Well, I will have Little Rock rush this guy, but if I can, I would like to use my abilities to use magic and push this guy magically through the air into the big display of cargo pants, so he falls
Okay.
onto it and collapses onto it.
Okay,
it's
so
pushed.
Little Rock basically just aids in whatever you're gonna do, right?
So he comes underneath his legs, right? So
Right.
I push him back. He
All right, so he's making this task even easier, and you're gonna use your push spell to send this guy flying.
That's right.
So you're gonna need to make a roll for that.
All right. And since I already have an asset, I'm just gonna roll. I roll a 12.
Not a 1. All right, you roll a 12. You're modifying this. It works, right? Your magic picks this guy up, throws him back into the pants. He trips over Little Rock and goes tumbling, knocking over all kinds of clothing, and the Gap clerk is screaming at this point. Helen, what are you gonna do?
What am I gonna do? I am gonna. So by pushing him back, is he farther away from me, or is he still within range of my beautiful
Oh, you
scarf
can move
weapon?
up, and you're fast.
I am
Your
fast.
metal scarf.
Is he a short distance?
He's probably not even that.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna move a short distance and pop out my lipstick, which has a knife on the end of it, and I'm gonna.
You are a femme fatale.
She's a dame to kill for.
So I'm going to move a short distance and then take an action, and my action is going to be actually my intention is not to hurt him. My intention is to put the knife against his throat, and because he's already down, correct?
He is on the floor,
Okay.
covered in cargo pants.
All right. Well, all right. So cargo pants aside,
Nobody wants that.
I would, and I just want to get him in a place where we can talk to him because I think that there's a lot we can learn from him. So
Okay.
I don't want to slit his throat or anything. I just
So
want
basically, you're going to be running up to him and kind of doing an intimidation action.
Yes.
Right? You're going to
Yes.
hold your lipstick knife up to his throat.
Yes.
So this is an intellect-based action for intimidation. I don't know if you have the skill in that.
I
If
do not. Is anyone else intimidating that wants to growl at him while I do this?
I'm persuasive.
I'm skilled in history.
That ought to help.
Somehow-
Did you know that
These
cargo pants were
characters
developed in
crafted for this wizard mob genre. Don't have intimidate? What an oversight.
I'm gonna wing it. Let's see how it goes. 15.
All right. So you've got your knife up against his throat. He does not look like he's moving anywhere. He looks pretty scared by everything that you guys have just done. And Tommy, what are you going to do?
Because we know that there's a hit on all of us, I'm thinking this guy's not the only one involved. So I'm going to draw my wand and keep an eye on the entrance of the gap to make sure there's no other people coming after us.
All right. Well, it's so good that you did that because there is another person. This looks like you see she's just kind of a middle-aged woman. She's got curlers in her hair. She's got a couple of shopping bags.
Mom?
But even as she moves in toward the entrance of the gap, she drops one of those bags, reaches into the other one, and pulls out a machine gun.
That one's gonna help you a lot.
I'm going to cast my signature spell, Thomas Lommel.
All right.
That's my ranged attack.
Okay.
That is a 7.
All right. That misses her. You shoot a bolt of magical energy out of the gap into the concourse, but she whips that bag up and blocks your magical bullet with her shopping bag.
I say, get out of here, bag lady!
All right, Rock, you're gonna have an action before she unloads.
So I turn back from the counter and I'm like, I'll pay for that one and that one and that one and that one. I'm really sorry about this, miss. Some people just don't respect fashion. And then I turn around and I invoke the granite shield of Korako the Crusher, and I can become sheathed in granite from head to toe. And I start stomping my way over towards this lady, like completely like in defiance of her machine gun of metal.
As you come forward, it's an impressive sight. You're covered in stone, and you look like this impressive monolith of a man. But she doesn't seem surprised, almost as though she knew what your abilities were even before you used them. And so she takes out her machine gun, and she lets loose with her armor-piercing bullets in her machine gun, and you need to make a speed defense roll.
Hey, I'm faster than I am smart. I got a 10.
You got a 10. All right. So some of the bullets, ricochet off the stony hide, but some of them strike true and bury their way into your rocky stone skin. And so you're going to take 4 points of damage, minus whatever armor it is.
All right, well, I have 2 armor, so
Okay,
I'll take
you're
2.
only gonna take 2 points of damage. And as she just is spraying bullets all around you, she's saying, "This is a blessing from Father James."
Usually I just do like 3 Hail Marys.
Phil, what are you going to do?
All right.
Okay, you guys have got one guy down and held at bay, but now there's this new player.
All right. I take a look at this new bag lady with her machine gun and armor-piercing bullets, and I decide I don't like the look of that machine gun, so I will cast a spell of Shatter Metal on it.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Roll to see if you can affect the machine gun.
I will apply a level of effort as well. Natural 20.
Wow, are you sure you're Bruce?
What's that like, Bruce? That's gonna be like the first time.
That's the first time.
I would just like to state for the record that he is using my dice.
I might be keeping this dice.
All right. So natural 20. That means any points that you spend, you get back.
All right.
And it means that in addition to succeeding at what you want to do, you get a special effect of your choosing.
All right. Well, I would like, as this machine gun shatters, hopefully, that a stray bit of the metal kind of strike one of her eyes and blinds her for a round.
Okay, so her machine gun explodes, and she cries out and throws the remains of it down. She's taken some damage from the shrapnel, and she's covering her eyes. And this woman seems to be, at least for this round, probably unable to act. Helen, you've still got this guy.
Yes, and I find this woman's utter disregard for how to handle herself utterly disgusting. I mean, you come in and you just start throwing bullets. Who trained this person? But they clearly have that handled. So the thing that I would like to ask this gentleman is, are you working with Father James and Father Foss? And I'm going to say, tell me exactly what's going on here.
Okay, so you got this guy down. He's not going to move. You're going to have to make still another roll, though, to actually get him to talk.
Okay, so I'm actually going to use deception, and I'm going to change my tactic, and I'm going to say, I'm going to lean in and whisper in his ear and say, I'm on your side. Tell me what the next plan is.
Okay.
And I'm trained in deception, and I will use a level of effort to talk sweetly into his ear. Yeah, that would be a 1.
Damn it, Bruce!
I would just like to state for the record
not my dice.
So basically, I spit in his ear while I'm down
So this guy, half covered in cargo pants, you're holding him down with a knife, but you whisper into his ear, and he says, he looks like he buys into your story, and says, oh, I'll tell you the plan. But then immediately he reaches up with his arms, grabs you by the neck, and is going to do like a judo flip on you. You need to make a reflex.
What's the audience cue for that? I'm chairing next year.
Next year when we do this, we get 10 minutes with these guys.
So please make a speed defense roll.
All right. 10.
All right. That is not
Oh, I'm
quite...
trained. I'm
you're
sorry.
trained. You're trained. That is good
I'm
enough
fast.
then. So he tries to get a hold on you, and you break free, right? So you're still up. He's actually still down on the
Good.
ground. And Tommy, what are you going to do?
That's a good question. And what's the bag lady doing?
Well, right now, nothing, right? She's covering her eyes. Her gun has just exploded literally in her face.
I'm not going to worry about her.
Okay.
I'm going to point my wand at judo guy.
Okay.
And I have persuasion, so I'm going to be like, you better sit still if you know what's good for you, pal.
That sounds more like intimidation than persuasion to me.
Hey, pal, do us a favor and chill out. That's a natural 20. That's also Tom's die.
Four game designers show up to play a game. Who's got the dice?
So what exactly do you say to him?
I want him
Do us a
to
favor and...
do us a favor and just chill out. We're gonna be fine. Otherwise, I'm gonna stick this through your neck. But in a good way. I got a tickle spell.
This guy's eyes go kind of glassy, right? He's affected by your magical charm, and he just puts his hands behind his back, relaxes in the pile of clothing that's on there, and he says, "Yeah, no problem." What are you gonna do, Rock?
So I walk up to the bag lady, and I look closely, and I'm like, Sister Margaret, I don't know what kind of demon has possessed you, but it is time for a cleansing. And I grab her, and I walk her over to that awful penny fountain that they always have. And just like dunk it up. You know? The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you!
Well, she's incapacitated this round, so you don't even have to make a roll to do that. You just bring her over and just start knocking her hands.
Jesus.
I'd like to think that there's a style roll or something like that involved, but we can all agree I aced that.
You actually better make a roll.
I do want to do
Oh,
it.
no.
I'm Rock Granite Hands. I do everything with style. 13.
Well, you go over and you're dunking her, but you want to do it with some style and some flourish.
And you don't want to get your cargo pants
Oh,
wet.
but some kid apparently over here by the penny fountain got a little sick earlier. And so it's disturbingly slippery on the floor. So you're actually going to need to make a speed-based roll to not fall in with her.
All right. Very good. I need to give an XP to Tommy to pass this, convince everybody else that I'm actually still cool.
I'll work on that.
Well, maybe you can be. Let's see what you roll.
Yeah, let's see if I am trained in climbing and jumping. So if there's a way for me to jump
Free of the puke.
through the vomit. Now, when I got up this morning, there's words that I did not think I would be saying. And jump through the vomit was curiously on that list. I get a 9.
All right, so unfortunately, Little Rock is now in, or not Little Rock, Big Rock, is in the fountain with the blinded bag lady.
So I'm just gonna grab her hair and then grab the back of my own head and just splash us forward. The power of Christ compels both of us! This is a normal way to do this. Everything's cool and fine over here. Oh, look, 7 cents.
Is that a 7-cent coin? Is that Canadian? Because this is America.
Oh, I want to do the broad on that coin.
You don't call them broads, you call them dames, chicks, dolls, skirts.
Skirt Elizabeth II.
It's at that moment, as Rock's in the fountain, the other, with the woman, other guy is just kind of relaxing amid the fallen cargo pants. You guys are sort of recovering from that. That into the gap walks none other than Father James. So he's got his priestly vestments on. He's got he's slightly balding. He's probably about 50 years old, but fit and trim for a guy. And the thing that you notice is, unlike before, when you've seen him, where he had the crucifix around his neck, this time he's got a pentagram. And he walks into the gap and he says, "My divinations have told me that the 4 of you are the only thing standing in my way from bringing upon the apocalypse. So you must be eliminated."
Not gonna happen, Father James.
So what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna have Little Rock rush him and try and jump on his head.
Okay. Go ahead and make a roll for that.
I'll apply a little effort.
Okay.
As I go get him, little guy. 9.
Little Rock comes running up, leaps toward him. Father James just easily kind of ducks out of the way, and Little Rock behind Father James. Helen, what are you gonna do?
Well, how far away from me is he?
He's just at the entrance of the gap, so he's a short distance.
Okay, so I'm gonna move a short distance and I am going to, I feel very concerned that my ability to deceive is not working as well as I would like, and I'm going to make this attempt one more time. And this time on Father James, because we have a long history, and I think that I can deceive him, and he has in the past been easily deceived by me. So I'm going to give it a shot and find out what exactly is going on. So I'm going to move a short distance and then talk to him.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, let me think about this for 1 second. I'm gonna say, we have such a long history, Father James. Why are you doing this? What's going on? And I'm gonna try to deceive him into thinking that we still sort of have a thing.
Okay. All right. So
And we'll see how this goes.
you're gonna seduce the priest, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, a little bit. Seduce might be too strong. It's the
As is
gap,
tradition.
I rolled a 16.
All right.
And maybe bring my little scarf around his neck.
Using your wiles against Father James. And he seems a little disarmed by that. He's confused. He's maybe he's thought wrongly of you. But that's when Jeanette pulls out her gun and says, "Get away from him! He's mine!"
That hussy! I knew it!
I had a feeling too.
For being all wet. Here you go. Oh, I knew it. And where is she?
She's kind of over by where Rock is, toward the side of the pool with the pennies in it.
Do I need to make speed defense?
Yes, you
Okay.
do. Right, she is unloading on you.
I'd like to know what her THACO is.
Your guess is as good as mine.
All right, I'm trained in speed defense, and I roll a 6.
Oh no!
Oh no!
6. She hits you for 4 points of
Oh,
damage. Blam,
God.
blam, blam. Tell me, what are you gonna do?
I am going to cast my spin identity spell, which lets me convince someone that I'm someone I'm not. Not specifically, but general. And so I'm going to turn to Father James and say, "Whoa, whoa, I just work here at the Gap. I don't know what you're talking about."
Go ahead and cast your spell, the roll.
And I'll spend effort on that.
Okay.
And that is a 9.
Okay. Well, you used effort. You put a lot into this. You cast your spell, and at least right now, he doesn't seem to be. All of a sudden, you're a polo-wearing Gap employee to him, as far as you know, and
It's
he's
under the
gonna
suit.
only be paying attention to the other 3.
Thanks a lot.
And Rock, what are you gonna do?
So I am going to sit bolt upright in the midst of the fountain, and I am going to bellow, "The Lord is the way, the truth, and the light. Through him no evil shall come to pass to me, and I shall allow no evil to come to pass on this earth." And I'm going to plant my fist in the fountain, and I want to spend 2 XP to convert it to holy water so that my fists and my body are consecrated in holy water.
Now, all of the water in the penny fountain suddenly glistens.
And inside the Gap, we're going, he's doing the holy water thing again.
In the background, there's kind of a chorus of.
You've heard of Hellboy? I'm like that, but from next door.
And so now you have made a big fountain of holy water. At this point, Father James holds up his hands and begins chanting some kind of dark, horrible spell. Phil, what are you gonna do?
I look at him and I think that's probably not good, so.
Bruce?
Yes. So I'll cast Erase Memory on him to try and make him forget the spell that he's casting.
Nice.
Okay.
I'll apply a level of effort.
Okay. He's notoriously hard to affect with magic.
Oh, I can only apply 1 level, unfortunately.
Okay.
Unless I can get little Phil to come and jab him in the back to get another distraction or something.
Sure.
All right.
He comes up. Little Rock comes up and starts pulling on his pant leg and distracts him.
All right, so I'll decrease the difficulty by 2 steps.
Okay.
Oh! 4.
Would have been better if it went off the. I should have shaken the table a little bit.
Somehow he manages to resist your powerful spell.
Level of XP to reroll that?
Sure.
All right, let's try
That's
that
what they're
again.
for.
Thank you. 10.
It's better, but still not
Alright.
quite enough to stop him from his horrible occult incantation.
Alrighty.
Helen, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna wrap that scarf around those hands and get that incantation stopped mid saying.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna see how that goes.
All right, make an attack roll with your scarf.
All right,
It's a
I'm-
light weapon, so you're gonna reduce the difficulty.
By 1, and I'll use a level of effort.
Okay.
Lots of speed. And I roll an 11.
11. That you don't you slash one of his wrists, right? You draw some blood, but it's not enough to like
stop
wrap around his arms and not enough to stop him from casting the spell. In fact,
No.
the fact that there's blood running down his arm only seems to fuel the dark magic that he is calling up.
Just one of the many bad decisions I've made in my life, Father James.
Involving Father James. All right, what are you gonna do, Tommy?
Well, in my disguise as an employee of the Gap,
Right.
I am going to cast my Karma spell. So I will spend 1 XP, and a stranger helps me out. I'm hoping like mall security will show up.
Wait, do you want actual help, or do you just want phony rent-a-car?
It's 1 XP. It's not a lot.
Good job, buddy. All right, well, the cavalry's here.
What the hell's going on here? He's got donut stains all down the front of his shirt, and but he comes up to you and says, "Can I help?"
I point at Father James, and I say, "Get him!" And I'm going to be persuasive.
All right.
Okay, I'm actually specialized in persuasion, so I rolled a 5.
All right. Well, it's just a mall cop. So he says, "Okay," and he runs over there, and it gets right in Father James's face. And at which point, Jeanette says, "Get away from him! He's mine!" She shoots the mall cop, who doesn't go down, but gets hit in the shoulder and winces. I don't get paid enough for this. But it's definitely taking up her action and kind of distracting Father James a little bit. Rock, what are you gonna do?
Once more into the gap.
GM intrusion, please.
I look at the priest, and then I look at the cargo shorts, and I look...
Focus, Rock.
Thanks, Tommy.
There's another gap.
There's another mall.
No, you're gonna.
Okay. Father James,
Literally soaking in holy water.
it's time for your penance. And I stomp 1 foot down over the edge of the penny fountain pool, and a whole rush of holy water comes surging out. And I stomp my other foot, and a small earthquake just propels me right across the room to Father James. And I try and punch him right in the collar.
All right.
Wow.
Make your attack roll. It's
All
an
right.
impressive. It's an impressive foray.
I am going to spend a might point to invoke my Earth Fist,
Okay.
which will inflict 1 less damage but daze the foe I strike.
Okay.
So, I rolled an 8.
Yes,
Get him!
Skin a bar. I have XP to reroll. So. Wait, I'm gonna roll one of my dice. That's a 3.
Wrong direction. But that was a...
That was an 8 previously. Then I got taunted into making it worse.
It was just a persuasion roll.
Have we all learned a lesson today? We all have flaws, and we need to accept those flaws into our...
So the good news is that you look really impressive. You smash your way out of the now holy water fountain, pennies scattering as you move. You get right up into Father James's face. The bad news is that he easily ducks out of the way of your magical blow.
Right through the window. Just right through the window of the gap, the main big display thing.
No!
And that's when it looks like he finishes his dark magic. Right there in the concourse of the shopping mall, the floor is cracking and the smell of brimstone is beginning to come up through the reddish glow from underneath this mall that, only now do you realize is laid out in the shape of a pentagram. Nobody noticed until now.
Hey, Tommy, now I see it. They're 5 Starbucks.
So Phil, what do you now realize that you are in the center of ground zero of the apocalypse brought upon by Father James. What are you gonna do?
All right, this one's for all the money, all the pennies maybe, and I'm gonna have the little rock get behind him again as I do, and I'm gonna try and use my push magic to push him into the crack he just opened up.
Okay.
And I'll apply a level of effort to that and use the help from my little rock.
Okay.
I'm gonna re-roll that.
Okay.
I'll go with the 10.
Unfortunately, he seems to resist your magic and just stands there cackling. Blood running down his arm, safe from all the holy water splashing around him. He is looking like the very epitome of the horrible evil figure that he is. You're right up there next to him, suffering from a small gunshot wound.
But that hussy and I have words. I'm gonna go have a conversation with Miss Jeanette. I'm gonna move a short. I'm very unhappy about the fact that she has now shot me and claimed Father James, because I'm gonna move a short distance and have at her with my lipstick knife.
Ooh, okay.
Which I think is that probably a light. Yeah. Okay.
Unless it's a really big lipstick.
It's not actually lipstick. It just opens.
Okay.
Tommy, how does she use that without cutting up her face all over?
It's a woman. It's like the tying the towel up in the hair. They just learned it in junior high.
All right. Well, you get up. You're threatening. She seems. She moves back. She's intimidated, but your actual strength does not hit her.
I did that on purpose. You just watch yourself, baby.
What are you gonna do, Tommy?
I think it's time to bring my A game. I reach into my pocket and I take out a headband. And by putting this on, I transform into the dungeon bastard. And now I am armed with a mighty axe and a gavel.
All right. You then kind of transform yourself into a YouTube personality.
Oh boy.
And you're looking very badass. In fact, your t-shirt says badass.
And if there are any gnomes nearby, I automatically slay them.
Yes. Fair enough. Yes, and all the bards go running off in fear. What are you going to do?
I pick myself up out of the store display window. I'm momentarily confused and surprised by a mannequin, which I immediately punch out. And then I think I better turn and rush. No, you know what? I reach back and my big granite hand begins to make kind of like this whirling motion, and you see this cone of stone begin to spiral up into my hand, and I throw a stalagmite.
Okay.
Or is it a stalactite? You don't know because it's horizontal.
How do you know both of those words?
I know.
I am bituminous.
How do you know that word?
That means I am part stone and part metal.
I have been schooled.
Look, I went to Catholic school.
I'm gonna
All
wrap
right,
him on the
so
knuckle.
who are you casting this spell at then?
I am throwing it clearly at Father James, like
Okay.
directly for the heart.
All right.
Yes. You know, I got speed points to burn. I will burn a level of effort on that. Why not? Sure. Okay. I'm gonna need that die back just for a minute, just because I feel like there's some problems over here. Do we have any other dice available to us? I got a 6.
Okay, well, you conjure this spear of stone and hurl it at him, but again, he frustratingly just kind of moves out of the way. It goes crashing into American Eagle, taking out 3 mannequins.
Perfect hit!
All right, and at that point, Father James makes this gesture, and you can see that horrible little clawed hands are kind of coming up from the cracks in the floor of the mall, and horrible, nasty, red-skinned creatures with bat-like wings are beginning to crawl up and emerge into the mall. Phil, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna try and have Little Rock grab the very obviously prominent amulet he's wearing around his neck.
Okay. That'll be an attack roll.
Alrighty, and I will apply a little effort to that.
Okay.
Damn it! These dice are against us. Who brought these dice?
Started off so promising.
Father James just kind of bats away your golem, and he says, "Nothing can stop me now."
I'm gonna say to Miss Jeanette, you are lucky you just became insignificant, and I'm going to take a sip of my flask that heals me for 4 points of might.
Okay. What are you gonna do, Tommy?
So he just said nothing can stop me now. I shake my axe and I shake my mouth and say, Mr. Gygax and Mr. Arneson think otherwise! And I'm gonna charge up and hit him.
Okay.
And I'm gonna spend effort because I'm not good at might tasks.
Okay.
Oh!
Wow.
That's a 1. That's a 12. I spend effort.
All right. You spend effort, and you get an asset from invoking the holy duology, and so you hit Father James with your weapons.
Finally. Nice.
And so these are medium weapons. They probably do 4 points of damage. Or you're not adding any to that,
No.
right? Okay. So 4 points of damage to Father James, which he strikes him across the face. He's got a big bruise from Arneson, and then you slash him across the other side of his face, Gygax. And he looks hurt, but certainly not down for the count.
I set him up for you. Time to go full half orc.
No one treats Little Rock like that! And I'm gonna run over and give him another punch of the earth fists. So I will spend another point of might on that and try and slam him in the chest. These mannequins are very distracting. I don't know.
Use cleave.
They are wearing some nice cargo pants.
I got a 5 total on that. That's not a friendly.
Yeah, so you run up and you miss him. He ducks out of the way. And at that point, the horrible little demonic things are crawling up and scurrying across the mall floor and attacking horribly just everyone in the mall. Shoppers who've been stopped to watch this whole display are now being attacked by little demons, and each one of you is also being attacked. So each one of you needs to make a speed defense roll as these things come at you with claws and teeth.
16.
14 and I'm trained.
18.
This show is not sponsored by ChessX Dice. I got a 3.
All right. So you three are safe. You know, you're batting them away. They seem rather insignificant to you. Rock, it isn't so much that this guy, you know, because you've got the stony skin, he's not really able to penetrate you. But as you are moving, he just kind of gets underfoot. And you slip and fall and take 3 points of damage.
Does my armor count against this,
It
or is
does.
this okay?
It does.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
And then Father James
Train them well.
says, "The apocalypse is upon us. It is the end times. The moon shall become blood." And he calls forth just unholy power into his upraised hands. And he looks down at Little Rock. And he says, "You shall be the first to perish." And you need to make a speed defense roll for Little Rock here.
I was about ready to join this guy, you know. He's gonna attack little guy.
About ready. I went to confession with this dude for 7 years.
All right, apply a level of effort. What is the speed defense, did you say? All right. 17.
Nice.
All right, so there's this bolt of unholy arcane might shoots down at the ground, but Little Rock is nimble and moves out of the way of it.
More nimble than you.
What do you do?
I'm encased in granite.
Excuses.
I'll follow up on that display of actually accomplishing anything at all. And have Little Rock, you know, leap aside and then leap for him. I'll try the same shtick I tried before, but push him into the open crack.
Okay.
Apply a level of effort. There's nothing else I can actually do. So 2 steps.
Come on, dice.
15.
15, all right. You conjure up your magic, unleash it at Father James. He's surprised already that this little golem with a toy machine gun has dodged his unholy power. And so he's already a little off balance, and your magic strikes him dead in the chest, and he begins toppling back into this crack.
Get him!
And Helen, not Helen, Jeanette,
Oh no!
says, "No, James!" and is grabbing for him. Helen, what do you do?
Oh, this is a tough one. So many things to do.
Blood moon.
You know, how far away are they?
They're
Right there. So I'm just gonna give her a little push.
2 problems with 1 push.
Right.
Okay.
I like to conserve energy
You
and
can make an attack roll against Jeanette.
I'm pretty angry, so I'm gonna use a level of effort.
Okay.
And that would be a 20. Hell has no fury like a woman scorned, like a dame scorned.
So hell hath no fury? The hell that's coming up from the bottom of the mall has no fury?
No, the hell that
Not
is
compared to
this-
her, no.
No.
I get it. I'm just stressing. Dramatic flavor. All right, so Father James is right on the edge of this crack. He's about ready to fall in, and Jeanette is reaching for him to save him, but then you push her, and both of them go tumbling down.
Happy
into the
travels.
horrible brimstone and hellfire. There are still all kinds of little demons running around because it's still the apocalypse.
I forgot that part.
Let's open that.
I don't know how to close this thing. Is there
There's a target.
a target? Is there a target that's small, an REI, something?
There's that, of course, yes.
Throw the cargo pants in.
We start filling the gap with cargo pants.
Sean, the gap's already filled with cargo
Fill the hell mouth with cargo pants.
Is that on the other side of the mall? Or what?
That's the new hot topic, is hell mouth.
All right, so you're throwing in clothing clothing into the.
There's entire racks of these things. These are last seasons. Get them.
All right, and Rock, what are you doing?
I paid for those! Tell me no! What are you doing?
I can see it's going to take a man of faith in order to address this situation, and I pull out my pocket catechism. It's right there. I have a pocket catechism. And I try to essentially invoke an ancient Latin ritual to reclose the yawning gaps that lead to the infernal realm.
As we all know, every Catholic pocket catechism has a ritual for undoing the apocalypse.
Just read it upside down.
He is still covered in holy water.
And you're covered in holy water.
You're like a clown.
All right, so you're going to need to make a roll. At this point, though, you guys know that he might not have the magical might alone to pull off such a major thing. Phil, do you want to take an action?
I'll take my Ring of Three Wishes, which has one wish left.
Wait a minute. That was mine.
I will wish that.
I just wrote down pocket catechism. I didn't know we could do that.
I will wish that his pocket catechism ritual succeeds, which will lower his task by 3 steps.
All right.
Nice.
That's a cipher, by the way. Not making it up.
Okay, so you're aiding in that with calling on the wish. A little genie pops out of the ring and says, "You want me to do what?" Okay, so suddenly this genie comes over and is helping you perform this Catholic ritual.
Who says the faiths can't work together?
Helen, are you gonna?
I have an inability in anything involving patience or willpower, so I'm just gonna say, hurry up!
All right.
Which is probably not helpful.
And are you gonna keep stuffing pants, or are you gonna do something else?
Does this seem to be working?
Wait, the question is, do you think it's working, or does it seem to be working?
I'm trained in seeing through deception, so I can't even lie to myself.
All right. Well, so as satisfying as it is to throw all this Gap clothing into this fiery pit, it doesn't actually seem to be helping.
All right, so Guardians of the Galaxy style, I'm going to go and grab the wrist that's holding his catechism, and I'm going to use my wand with the other hand, which actually is in the shape of a mallet right now, and I'm going to lend my magical might to Rock so that I'm trying to be an asset for him.
All right.
Okay.
You're getting tons of help from your friends here, Rock.
Hurry up, seriously.
Whoa,
let's
whoa, whoa,
go.
whoa, whoa. Which die do I use? This one? This one? This one? Well, it's mixed. On the last? Yes! Bruce?
Wait. Don't let him touch it. This is going to be the first time. I have known Bruce since I was 14.
They want us to
The
fail.
first time anyone's willingly reached for Bruce's hand.
I'm not rolling.
It's not Bruce.
I believe in you. I believe in all of you. 15!
All right, well, with the help of the genie, the holy water, and the pennies that are still kind of stuck to you, also soaked in holy water, and Tommy's magical
And
might,
I'm yelling.
And the yelling.
I'm yelling.
and Helen's indifference,
I'm yelling.
you managed to call upon the catechism ritual that reverses the apocalypse.
In Appendix B.
You say a few books from the Book of Revelation backwards. And suddenly the little demons that are running around, their eyes get really wide, and they just begin diving back into these cracks as the cracks are closing up and the mall returns to normal.
So you said that
Who wants Starbucks?
there's another gap, right? We still haven't got gifts for my daughter.
I walk over to where the last crack sealed, and I pick up this small strip of black cloth that has a tiny white square in it, and I just sort of dust off the charred and brimstone remains, and I lay it in my catechism and fold it over. I'll be at St. Bartholomew's Wednesdays from 4 to 7.
And it's good that you're marking that page, because this might come up again. All right, so you guys are successful.
Woo!
Thank you for playing in the game. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.